I went to the NAMM show and all I got was this sweatshirt. Honestly, that's kind of true. I did go to NAMM and I did get this shirt, but that's enough intro for today. Let's just talk about NAMM 2025. Welcome to Get Offset. My name is Emily and this one's for Sassy Cat. For the, I guess, 4th time in a row, I went to the NAMM show in Anaheim. We had the joy of flying out of a small regional airport, so we got to walk all the way up to the plane. Love that itty bitty little airport. You get there an hour before your flight takes off and you're fine. But it did mean that our flight left at 7 a.m. We arrived at the hotel like 6 hours before we could check into our room. But that was fine. We ended up grabbing a margarita with Ryan Burke from 60 Cycle Hum, pictured here, and we hit up the NAMM opening party for Martin Guitars, which always kicks off the entire event. The Martin showcase was pretty cool. Something I like about them is they do extremely arty limited runs for major milestones. This year, they showed off their 3 millionth serialized guitar. These builds are generally not my thing, but I can't say they're anything other than extremely impressive. Here's a shot of the back design, which features a sycamore tree, an homage to the name of their street. If I remember correctly, the actual 3 millionth guitar, I don't think that's for sale, but they're making a few others in this vein with this design with less literal gold, and they're $300,000. So yeah, not for most of us. The good news is Martin also introduced some affordable models, including a more budget-minded version of their new Billy Strings signature guitar, which comes in at under $1,000. A link for that one in the video description. They also refreshed their standard series, so it's great to see Martin both swinging for the fences and making guitars for working musicians and hobbyists alike. Also, Peter Frampton was there, which might have been the coolest part of NAMM, just period. Peter Frampton rules. Next up, we attended the official Media Day event. Fender kicked things off with the announcement of their new standard series, which is now shipping. Once again, affiliate link in the video description. Yes, the standard series is back. Starting at $599, Fender's aim is to fill a hole in the market between their nicest $450-ish Squiers and their Player 2 series, which usually starts around $800. There are already plenty of spicy opinions on the standard series. They're only $150 more than the most expensive Squiers, which are also made in Indonesia. And I think everyone agrees that those Squiers are really well-made guitars. These aren't the first Fender branded instruments coming out of Indonesia. My Tom DeLonge signature Starcaster is another one, but folks are accusing the standard series of being Squiers with a Fender logo on them. Having checked out the standard series at NAMM in the Fender meeting room, I don't think this is apt. I'm hoping to demo the standard series Telecaster or Stratocaster, and I'm also hoping to get an Affinity Squier of a similar model to compare it to in a separate video, but we'll see what I can make happen. By the way, I'm pretty sure Phil McKnight has already done a video on this series, so check that out. He really dissected one of those guitars. But from what Fender has told me, the standard series includes upgraded hardware, electronics, and finishing over the Squiers. And importantly, they'll be an easier mod platform. Squiers are already great mod platforms, sure, but some of their parts aren't so easily swapped for higher-end aftermarket ones. I've been assured that the Fender Standard Series will be even better for modding in that regard, which is really exciting to me. It will make these guitars especially good for growing with somebody as a player who the original owner will be able to upgrade hardware and electronics more easily while still having a Fender logo on the headstock. So here's the thing though, my first electric guitar was a Squier. If I could have saved up for just a little bit longer and gotten a guitar with a Fender logo on the headstock, I absolutely would have. And I probably would have kept playing it longer too. Squiers are cooler now than they used to be for sure, but a Fender guitar is a classic kind of cool. Anyway, back to Media Day. The other cool thing I actually got footage of was from Yamaha, who brought out Yvette Young to demo their newest Tag 3 TransAcoustic guitar with built-in chorus, reverb delay, and a looper. Yvette obviously demonstrated it beautifully, and I later got to try one out with Tia from Working Class Music. It's definitely heavy for an acoustic guitar, over 6 pounds, but the effects are really fun. The looper is surprisingly easy to use, and did I mention its built-in effects on an acoustic guitar? When I say built-in effects, I don't mean you plug it in and whatever comes out of the pickup and the cable has effects on it. Just playing this straight up acoustically, you can hear the effects. It's bananas. I don't know how to describe it. It sounds really, really nice. I especially like the delay modes. There are 2 of them, and you can control them more granularly on the phone. The analog mode self-oscillates. I think Tia might have footage of that, but I was just enjoying playing it too much to shoot footage, which was a bit of the theme of this NAMM. Sorry. The Tag 3C TransAcoustic guitar is $1,700, which is honestly less than I expected, and is available for pre-order from Sweetwater. Once again, affiliate link in video description. And by the way, if you're looking for other ways to support this channel, you can like, comment, subscribe. Those are great ways to support this channel. We also have a Patreon, and for as little as $5 a month, you get exclusive access to our Discord server. There you can chat with me, chat with other offset enthusiasts, guitar nerds, and stuff like that. It's my favorite little corner of the internet, and I hope to see you there. Anyway, after Media Day, we drove over to a Taylor Guitars party, which is always a pleasure. I even got to meet Bryan, Ryan Burke's weird wax figure evil twin / portrait of Dorian Gray, and I gotta say, that dude is unsettling. Bryan, not Ryan. Ryan is cool. NAMM, the event, not just the Media Day stuff, started the next day, and it took me nearly an hour to get from the entrance to my first intentional stop, which was the Seymour Duncan booth. That's solely because I was catching up with people, but it made it pretty clear to me that I probably wasn't going to get to see or film as much as I wanted to this year. Unlike last year where they tried to move it back to 4 days, NAMM was only 3 days in 2025. My feet were happy about it. They were pretty dead by the end of the event, but it meant there was a lot I was going to miss, and to realize that within an hour of the doors opening kind of sucked. But I digress. I spent a lot of time at the Seymour Duncan booth because I've helped them with marketing in various capacities since about 2020. In case you didn't know, I'm a content marketer by trade with a specialty in MI and pro audio, and I'm available for work. Shameless self-promotion. But Seymour Duncan had some cool stuff coming out that I'd only heard about, things I hadn't been able to try, including the new Jazzmaster pickups and their new Power Stage bass amp, which you might know I've been using like Power Stage for a few years now. Check out my video with the Poly Ample if you're curious about how that works. I even got a great picture of Ryan from 60 Cycle Hum trying out those new Jazzmaster pickups. The demo station had a surf patch, which was pretty cool, and I know that he liked that. I also snagged a pic of Philip from the 40 Watt podcast getting an autograph from the one and only MJ. If you didn't know, and you should know, MJ is the heart of Seymour Duncan's custom shop. She's worked there for over 40 years, and she's probably your favorite guitarist's favorite pickup winder. I'm lucky to have a few sets signed by her, one of which is my favorite Telly Bridge pickup, which is in this guitar. You can't see the pickup, but I love that pickup. I have a second one, and I'm going to be putting it in an upcoming build. I'm unbelievably stoked for that. Seymour Duncan was right across from the Boutique Guitar Showcase, which, as always, had a ton of instruments that are, simply put, art. Cower went hard on the splatter finishes, which I really dug. There's also this all aluminum guitar that I liked a lot. It's completely hollow, the body and the neck, and super thin, so it's not nearly as heavy as you'd expect. I didn't get to play it though, so I'm not sure how it sounded, but I've generally liked other aluminum guitars I've heard, just resonance for days. I also checked out the Cream guitar booth. They've come a long way on those color-changing guitars. These guitars use e-ink like a Kindle reader, so they have a low power draw and are easy on the eyes. And now you can program the face of them. Somebody already asked me if you can play Doom on it, and I also have this question. I didn't get anyone's card over there, but I know that Bee's Music Shop is their only USA distributor, so I'd recommend reaching out to them for serious inquiries about Cream guitars. Next, I hit up the Court booth, which featured Digitech DoD products. The talk of the town was the new Whammy, which is a collaboration with the bassist MonoNeon, but it still works wonderfully with guitar. A big thing about it is that it can now move 3 octaves, which works great on bass and lower guitar notes, and it gets you into for dog ears only territory higher up the fretboard. It's nuts. You can also bend into an octave up or down, and the detune mode sounds better than ever. It's more like a chorus, which really expands the usability of the Whammy.
A more usable detune.
The new HammerOn, which is like an upgraded Whammy ricochet, was exciting too. It has all the modes I like with the ricochet, with even more sounds. Just watch the video.
The jump notes. Right, in sequence mode, and put drill on.
So the HammerOn mode is instant instead of bending like the previous momentary mode on the ricochet. There's also a wild sequence mode that you can program, so you can hit one note and it will immediately pitch shift into whatever notes you want. Turning up that mode, like the speed of it, sounds like video game trills. It's really cool. I gotta figure out how to use it.
Adjust the speed of it. Or you can go ridiculous with it. Right?
That's great, man. The only real bummer is no expression, but if this does well, maybe the V2 will have it. The MonoNeon Whammy is available now. Again, affiliate link in video description. Next up, I dropped by the Boss Roland section. They showed off their 30-watt tube amp expander core, which is great for those who have high wattage amps but still want to play at home or get that cranked sound without, actually cranking the amp. It's nice and portable and has some really cool little features, but I didn't get to spend a lot of time with it. But what I really wanted to check out was their VG800 guitar processor. It works with Boss's hexaphonic pickup. That's the serial GK divided pickup. You can mount that pickup to the top of your guitar, or someone like Sweetwater can give it a more permanent installation. But the VG800 was astounding.
So this is drop C. But you can tell that I can tune the string. So normally you would have to bring multiple guitars. You have to have a guitar specifically set up that way with specific strings, specific tension, and all of that sounds like a big giant pain in the butt. Do this, hexaphonic pickup, and it can allow you to tune any string within an octave up or down.
Can we hear that nylon guitar? This is cool.
I also do it with the finger picking.
You can instantly retune your guitar on the stage, make your electric sound like a genuinely convincing nylon string acoustic, turn your guitar into a B bender, transition from an acoustic 12-string sound to a distorted electric sound mid-song. I'm sure the options are fairly limitless. Oh, and it works on bass too. Affiliate link is, you guessed it, in the video description. And I'd love to get one to demo. I'm not sure if that'll happen, but maybe if you tell Boss, Roland, Sweetwater that I should demo it, that might help. Speaking of guitar pedals, I hit up the guitar pedal area at NAMM and actually got to play a few things, which was cool. Cosmodio Instruments had this pedal called Gravity Well, which they describe as an analog tremolo / wave folder / refractor, and I really want to get some more time with it. It sounded super cool, as did their Pet Yeti Distortion and Fuzz. Next, I finally got to play some stuff from Summer School Electronics. I didn't get a pick or video, I just blanked on it, sorry about that, but they have a new pedal they're working on that's a spring reverb with delay on the decay, and it sounded sick. I could have played that for an hour. Finally, I got to check out the upcoming pedal from Red Panda, which is a simplified but still trippy take on their raster. The original raster scared the hell out of me, but it's extremely, extremely rewarding. Here's a look at it on the screen, which is clearly just a prototype, but I was pleased to hear some familiar favorites in this dialed down version with some of the wild psychedelic sounds alongside the more subdued pretty ones. Oh yeah, and T and I also saw Jack White. The next morning I woke up to a text from my mom that I was in one of his Instagram pictures, and it's always fun when my mom thinks I do something cool. Moving back to guitars, I stopped by the G&L booth. Some of you might know one of my favorite guitars is a G&L ASAT with a B-bender. I think their instruments are wonderful, and their 45th anniversary stuff looked really good in person, even if blue isn't my color. But what I really liked were these two. This is a Fallout with their special single coils. I've been digging on Fallouts for a few years now, and I really want that one. And that Rampage, I like Alice in Chains, okay? I've always been a big Jerry Cantrell fan. He's just a great songwriter and guitarist. Like, Jerry Cantrell, come on. So everything I've told you, this is not over the course of one day. I really only spent 2 days at NAMM, so that was all Thursday and Friday. So now we're at Friday night, which was the night of the PRS 40th anniversary party. It was genuinely so nice to spend an evening in a chair watching some incredible guitarists. In fact, it was my first time seeing Mark Lettieri perform, and I am an absolute fan now. It was also great seeing Philip Sace live, who I hadn't seen live, but I accidentally missed Orianthi, and I'm kind of embarrassed about it. Obviously, the big draw was John Mayer, and he didn't disappoint. But what I didn't expect was to see Paul Reed Smith jumping on stage for a song with John and Mark, and it was really fun and sweet and cool.
I'm not from nobody. Nobody's hiding from me. Oh, Paul, I can't wait.
It's not that serious. It was a fun event. Saturday was all about the Effector Marketplace and hanging out with friends. Old Blood Noise Endeavors showed off an upcoming release, which I didn't get to play, but Mark Johnson said was absolutely awesome. Then it was cold, so I went back to the NAMM show just to buy this sweater. It was $50. I can't believe I spent $50 on a NAMM sweater. NAMM was great, and my big takeaway is that 3 days isn't very long. I didn't make it out to the Woodwire Volt, which was the competing event nearby. I wish I'd been able to have time for that, but there just wasn't. Listen, I'm not saying that NAMM should go back to 4 days, but I wouldn't have minded an extra day for hangs at the least. My other takeaway is that there's some really cool things coming this year. I mostly saw pedals and pickups saved for the Fender guitars, but brands are still trying to innovate, make products better, and give guitarists a bigger sonic toolkit. If you liked this video, check out the one on the screen where I run through 3 new pedals from Keeley Electronics, all of which are only $99 and all of which are Sweetwater exclusives. Thanks for watching, thanks for understanding. Until next time, my name is Emily. Goodbye.